You've probably seen this moment countless times without thinking much about it. Your dog circles a spot, settles down next to you, adjusts their body, and then lets out a long, slow sigh. It's easy to assume they're just tired, maybe winding down after a long day. But that sound means something far deeper than simple fatigue. When your dog exhales like that, their body is shifting out of alert mode and into a state of safety. Throughout the day, dogs are constantly monitoring their environment, ears twitching at distant sounds, eyes scanning for movement, always ready to react. But in that moment, lying beside you, something changes. Their muscles relax, their breathing slows, and their nervous system essentially says, "I don't need to be on guard anymore." That sigh is not just a release of air. It's a release of responsibility. It means your dog has decided that right here next to you, everything is under control. There's nothing to worry about, nothing to track, nothing to fix. You've got it covered. In their own quiet way, your dog is telling you something incredibly powerful. I trust you. I feel safe with you. I can finally rest. You've seen it so many times it almost feels like a cliché. You say something to your dog, and they tilt their head slightly to one side, ears perked, eyes focused on you. It's one of the most adorable things dogs do, and most people assume it's just a cute, random reaction. But it's not random at all. In fact, research from Budapest in 2021 revealed something surprising. Scientists studied dogs that had learned the names of their toys and found that these dogs tilted their heads significantly more often when they were asked to retrieve a specific item. Dogs that didn't understand the names barely tilted their heads at all. This suggests that the head tilt is directly connected to how dogs process and interpret human speech. In other words, your dog isn't being cute, they're concentrating. That slight tilt is your dog trying to match the sounds they hear with something they recognize. It's their version of focusing harder, like when humans narrow their eyes or lean in to understand better. In that moment, your dog is actively working to understand you. And that effort, that willingness to try, is its own kind of compliment, one you've probably overlooked many times. And there's a moment many dog owners experience without fully realizing what it means. You're standing still, and your dog walks over, then slowly leans their entire body into your leg. Not just brushing against you, but resting their full weight there, as if you're something solid they can rely on. It might feel a little inconvenient, especially if your dog is big, but that simple gesture carries a powerful message. When a dog initiates physical contact like this, something happens beneath the surface. Studies have shown that touch between a dog and their owner triggers the release of oxytocin, the same hormone responsible for bonding between parents and their children. This effect is especially strong when the dog chooses the contact and directs it toward their primary person. In that moment, your dog isn't just seeking balance or comfort, and they're reinforcing a connection. Leaning into you is your dog's way of saying, "This is where I belong." It's trust, attachment, and emotional security expressed through physical closeness. And without realizing it, you often respond instinctively, resting your hand on them, staying still for a second longer. It's a quiet exchange, but biologically and emotionally, it's one of the deepest forms of bonding you share. There's something about you that your dog values more than anything else in the world, and it's not your voice, your touch, or even the treats you give them. It's your scent. This isn't just a poetic idea, it's backed by science. In a study using MRI scans, researchers observed dogs' brain activity when exposed to different smells: strangers, other dogs, their own scent, and their owner's scent. The result was striking. Now, the owner's scent triggered the strongest response in the caudate nucleus, the part of the brain associated with reward and pleasure. Even more surprising, follow-up studies showed that many dogs responded to their owner's praise as strongly as, or even more strongly than, they did to food. That means, biologically, you are more rewarding to your dog than a treat. Think about that for a moment. a piece of clothing you've worn, a blanket that smells like you. These aren't just objects to your dog. They're powerful emotional anchors. Your scent represents safety, comfort, and happiness all at once. The deeper insight here is simple but profound. You are not just part of your dog's world. You are the center of it. To them, you are the reward, the reassurance, and the thing they value most, even above food. I'd imagine this. A new object appears in your home. A suitcase by the door, a box in the hallway, something your dog has never seen before. What's the first thing they do? They don't rush toward it. They don't immediately bark or back away. Instead, they look at you. This behavior is known as social referencing, and it's something scientists have studied extensively. Just like a young child looks to a parent to decide whether something is safe or dangerous, your dog looks to your face before choosing how to react. Research shows that dogs rely far more on their owner's expression than on a stranger's when interpreting unfamiliar situations. In that moment, your reaction becomes their guide. If you stay calm, they relax. If you tense up, they become cautious. Your dog isn't just observing the world. They're interpreting it through you. And you are, in every sense, their emotional compass. That means your dog doesn't just trust you to feed them or walk them. They trust you to define what is safe, what is normal, and what is worth worrying about. It's a quiet but powerful compliment. If you're okay, then I'm okay too. You might not think much about where your dog chooses to sleep, but that choice says more than you realize. Whether they curl up at your feet, settle beside your bed, or try to climb closer to you at night, it's not just about comfort or warmth, it's about something deeper. Recent sleep studies on dogs have shown that their sleep quality actually changes depending on whether their owner is nearby. When dogs sleep in the same space as their person, they enter deeper, more restful sleep. Their bodies relax more fully, and their sleep cycles become more stable. But when that same dog sleeps alone, even in a familiar environment, their deep sleep decreases and restlessness increases. Nothing else changes. Same room, same bed, same conditions. The only difference is you. That tells us something important. Your presence isn't just comforting. It directly affects how safe your dog feels at a biological level. When you're near, their brain allows itself to fully rest. When you're gone, part of them stays alert. In your dog's world, sleep isn't just about rest. It's about trust. And choosing to sleep near you is their way of saying, "This is where I feel safe enough to let my guard down." There are moments when your dog simply looks at you. No barking, no wagging, no obvious reason at all. Just a quiet, steady gaze from across the room. Their eyes are soft, eye-relaxed, almost gentle. It's easy to overlook or assume they're waiting for something, but often they're not asking for anything at all. They're connecting with you. Science has shown that when a dog and their owner hold eye contact, something remarkable happens in both of their brains. Levels of oxytocin, the same hormone responsible for bonding between parents and children, begin to rise. And it doesn't just happen once, it creates a feedback loop. The more your dog looks at you, the more oxytocin is released. The more oxytocin is released, the more your dog wants to look at you again. This loop strengthens emotional connection in a way that is unique to the bond between humans and dogs. Even wolves raised by humans don't show the same response. So when your dog gazes at you with soft, lingering eyes, it's not random. And it's not meaningless. It's the closest thing they have to saying, "I love you," not in words, but in biology. There's a moment that happens so often it's easy to dismiss as just play. Your dog walks up to you carrying something in their mouth, a toy, a sock, maybe something they found under the couch. They drop it in front of you, then look at you, then at the object, then back at you again. If you don't respond, they repeat the sequence, sometimes nudging it closer or adjusting their position. It might seem random, but it's not. Research has shown that dogs use at least 19 distinct gestures to communicate intentionally with humans. These gestures meet the scientific criteria for purposeful communication, meaning your dog is not just reacting, they are actively trying to send a message and expecting a response. That sequence, object, eye contact, repetition, is structured. It's your dog building a simple sentence using the tools they have. They don't have words, so they use movement, attention, and persistence to get their point across. And if you don't understand the first time, they try again. This isn't just a game or a habit. It's communication. In that moment, your dog is doing something incredibly meaningful. They're trying to talk to you in a language they created just for you. What stands out to me about 8 deepest signs your dog truly loves you, and you're probably missing them, is how easily these signals can be overlooked. Not because they're rare, but because they're quiet. Most people expect love to look obvious: excitement, tail wagging, jumping at the door. But the deepest forms of connection your dog offers are often the calmest ones: the sigh, the soft gaze, the decision to sleep near you. These aren't loud expressions. They're signs of trust. In my view, the biggest mistake owners make is focusing too much on what dogs do and not enough on what those actions mean. A dog leaning into you isn't just seeking contact, it's reinforcing a bond. A dog looking at you before reacting isn't hesitating, it's trusting your judgment. These are emotional signals, not just behaviors. The practical solution is to slow down and become more observant. Start noticing patterns. When does your dog relax most? When do they look at you before acting? These moments are where the real communication happens. Second, respond intentionally. When your dog tries to talk to you, bringing an object, making eye contact, acknowledge it. Even a small reaction teaches them they're understood. And another key shift is emotional consistency. Since your dog uses you as a reference point, your reactions matter. Stay calm in uncertain situations so your dog learns that the environment is safe. And finally, create more quiet connection. Sit with them, make gentle eye contact, offer slow, reassuring touch. These small actions reinforce the bond at a deeper level than excitement ever could. In the end, your dog has been showing love all along. The difference is learning how to see it and how to answer back in a way they understand.